Okay, when I was doing the sew along for the Luthero pattern, I mentioned that you could get a binder for the Janome Cover Pro 1000 CPX. And so I've got mine mounted on here. It's just one screw that mounts it right here. So you screw that in, tighten it on the far right one, and then you loosen these two screws to try to get it lined up. The other thing, you need to use either the inner or outer two needles. Don't try to use the widest needles because it'll be just about impossible to line it up. It comes with the binder and a foot. It's shorter than the default one. It's about right there shorter, and that allows this to get a little bit closer to the needle. It's not as close as I'd like and not as close as on my industrial machines, but you kind of have to play with this for a little while to get it to work. It'll kind of go from the inside to the outside until you kind of get the binding tape in and get it going. So I've got this one set up, and I've got my tension on 4 and 4 on each needle. I've got it on 5 on the looper, and I've got the switch tightener to the left to make the looper thread a little bit tighter. It's kind of what I discovered. So you'll have to play with it though on the type of fabric that you're using. Okay, you put the fabric right here where this fold is coming out of the binder, and it should start feeding. My foot over here where I can work it. Okay, here we go. Let me see what I've got. Okay, I'm getting a little close on this side, so I'm going to move the binder that way just a tiny bit. And I mean a tiny, it doesn't take much, about like that right there. And then we'll keep going. And we're still on the outer edge. So move it over a little bit more. It's quite a bit, it may be too much, let's see. That moved it over a little bit. I need to move it over just a tad more. And when you do this, you really need to set up and do a long piece to make sure it's lined up. Once you get it, it'll be fine, but it just takes a little while to get it dialed in. There we go. Now we got it where we need it. I'm about to run out of binding tape here. So let me see if I can get to the end of this quickly. Okay, now you see it's moved over too far to the right. So I got to come back to the left a little bit. See if that lines up. It's a little bit closer. I'm going to move it over just a little bit. Reach the end. Let's have a look here and see. Okay, you can see we're still a little bit too far to the right, but that's what I mean by cut a long piece of your fabric and adjust your your alignment. And you can see it went too far to the left, and then it was too far to the right when I started. But it was fairly close to the edge when I first started, but it'll do that. And that's one of the downfalls of this binder not being so close to the needle the way it is on an industrial machine. Even on my industrial cover stitch machine, this thing is about right there. It's about 1/4 of an inch for the needle, so when it goes in, it stays lined up. This one you'll have to play with for a little while. Once you get it lined up for a long period, like something the length of this, you should be good to go. But test until you get it, because you don't want to get on your project and it be out of alignment. But once it gets in the middle, you should be okay. So, all right, anyway, that's it. I just kind of want to give you guys an idea of what this binder was like. Takes some messing with for a while to get it to line up, but once you get it lined up, you should be good. It should work for you. So that's it for now, guys. Let me know if you have any questions or not, and I'll be happy to answer them. Take care.